Hello everyone. Today we will learn about cloning vectors. This topic is in chapter Biotechnology Principle and Processes in class 12th. In this video, you will learn about different type of cloning vector, their use, their features, and the different selectable markers which are found in the cloning vector which make them suitable for the recombinant DNA technology. Let's start the topic. Cloning vectors. Cloning vectors, these are the DNA molecules which carry the foreign DNA segment into the host cell. The different type of DNA molecules which can be used as cloning vector are plasmids, bacteriophages and cosmids. Cloning vectors are also known as vehicular DNA or the carrier DNA because it carries the foreign DNA or we can say gene of interest into the host cell. Now different type of cloning vectors, plasmids. Plasmids are known as autonomously replicating circular extrachromosomal DNA found in the bacterial cell. These have the ability of self-replication and their number may vary from 10 to 100 in a bacterial cell. Next is bacteriophages. Bacteriophages are the viruses which infect the bacteria. Their genetic material can be modified, their genetic material can be inserted with the gene of interest and it can be used to transfer the gene of interest into the bacterial cell. Then cosmids are the hybrid vectors derived from the plasmids. These contain co sites of the phage particle. Co sites are the cohesive sites and this diagram is of a bacteriophage having a head piece, then neck piece or the middle part, then the tail part or tail fibers. This head piece contains the genetic material which may be the DNA or RNA. Now, copy number can be defined as the number of copies of vector present in a cell. As I have already told you that plasmids can have different copies per cell, per bacterial cell. The number of plasmids can vary from 1 to 2 or from 10 to 100. If the bacterial cell have 100 number of plasmids, the number is 100, then we can say this is the high copy number plasmid. But if it is less than 10, we can say it is a low copy number plasmid. Bacteriophages have high number per cell, so copy number is also high in the genome. This is diagram of vehicular DNA where the plasmid DNA is shown to you and the bacteriophage is shown to you. These two are used as cloning vectors. Here you can see in a bacterial cell, the DNA, the bacterial own genome, that is the bacterial own DNA is lying separately in the bacterial cell, whereas plasmids are circular extrachromosomal DNA having the ability of self-replication. Next is bacteriophages. Here the T for bacteriophage is shown. The head part, the tail part is shown to you. The head part contains the genetic material which may be the DNA or RNA. From the head part and through this neck part which contain collar, sheath and base plate, this genetic material get transferred to the tail region and then it is transferred to the next cell. These long tail fibers help the bacteriophage to attach the bacterial cell. Now what are the features of cloning vectors? First feature is origin of replication, that is ORI region. All of the cloning vectors must possess the ORI region. ORI is the sequence of DNA from where the replication starts, and any piece of DNA or we can say gene of interest, when it is linked to this sequence, it also helps in replication of that particular sequence within the host cell. This sequence is mainly responsible for controlling the copy number of the linked DNA. The next feature is the selectable marker. Cloning vectors have a selectable marker which help us to identify or to eliminate the non-transformant from the transformant. What are these two terms? Transformant. Transformants are the cells which have received the recombinant DNA. And non-transformants are the cells which don't have received the recombinant DNA. With the help of these selectable markers, we can select the transformant from the non-transformant. Now, what is the procedure of transformation? What is this step? What is this process, transformation? It is the process by which the piece of DNA is inserted from one cell to the another cell. Generally, we insert this target DNA or the DNA of interest is inserted into the selectable marker region. Few of the plasmids have the selectable marker region, which are usually the antibiotic resistant genes. Like you can see in the next slide, there is a plasmid PBR322 which has two antibiotic resistant gene. One is ampicillin resistant gene and another one is tetracycline resistant gene. These antibiotic resistant genes help us to select the transformant from the non-transformant. This is diagram of PBR322, which is a plasmid. It is a E. coli cloning vector PBR322. In this diagram, you can easily see the ORI region, which is the origin of replication. Then there is a selectable marker region, which is the ampicillin resistant region and the tetracycline resistant region. Within these two regions, there are the regions for the action of the restriction enzymes. There are restriction enzyme sites, like in ampicillin resistant region, there is a restriction enzyme site PVU1 and PST1. And in tetracycline resistant gene, there are two sites for restriction enzymes. One is for the action of BAMH1 and another one is for the action of CEL1. Besides these, there are restriction enzyme sites for the ECOR1, CLAIR1 and HINT3 also. Then there is Rho protein, which contain the restriction site for PVU2. Rho proteins code for the proteins which are involved in the replication of the plasmids. Now next is cloning sites. Cloning sites are the sites where we link the foreign DNA in the vector, and it must have single recognition site for the restriction enzyme. Here one thing you have to consider, that with the same restriction enzyme you will cut the target DNA and you will cut the plasmid, or the we can say cloning vector. By using the restriction enzymes, we will cut this recognition site, and after the action of the restriction enzymes, the fragments of the DNA will be formed, where we will ligate the foreign DNA and then the recombinant will be formed. Here we have to keep one more point in mind, that is, we have to use the restriction enzyme which will make a cut within the selectable marker region of the vector. Another cloning vector which is used in case of plants for transferring the material, foreign material or the foreign DNA or the gene of interest to the plants is the TI plasmid. Full form of TI plasmid is tumor inducing plasmid. This plasmid, or we can say this vector, is obtained from a bacterium, Agrobacterium tumefaciens. This bacterium is a pathogen for several dicot plants, and it will deliver a piece of DNA known as tDNA to the host plant cell and transfer the normal plant cell into the tumorous cell, due to which the tumorous growth will take place on the plant and it results in formation of a callus on the plant body. Here in this diagram you can see Agrobacterium tumefaciens structure, where the bacterial chromosome is shown to you, and TI plasmid containing the virulent gene or the virulent region, that is the tDNA region in it. This tDNA region is mainly responsible for inducing tumor formation within the host cell. Therefore, we will use the feature of tDNA. We will make a cut within the region of tDNA, so that it will no longer remain virulent to the plant cell or to the host cell. This region is the tDNA region, which contain different kind of growth regulators like auxins, cytokinins and opines. Then there is a region of replication in this plasmid also. Then there is a virulent region. We will make a cut with the help of restriction enzymes in this tDNA region. Now in this diagram you can easily see that this plant is infected with the Agrobacterium tumefaciens, due to which there is a tumorous growth on the plant cell which is easily visible to you. Now what is the mode of action of tDNA? What will happen? This bacterium will infect the plant cell and result in division of the cells very rapidly. The cells will start dividing, due to which the callus growth or the tumorous growth will take place on the plant cell. Now the vector for cloning the gene in animal, TEI plasmid we will use for the plant cells. Now what vectors we will use for inserting the gene of interest in animals? We can use retroviruses, and retroviruses transform the normal cell into the cancerous cell, but these retroviruses we have to disarmed. Disarmed means it should not be able to cause a cancerous growth. It should be disarmed and used to deliver the desirable gene into the animal cell. Now other vectors like viruses, lambda virus can be used as vector. Then lambda can dispense within 20 kb of DNA. It can transfer approx 20 kilobase of DNA or the gene of interest to the other cell. M13 make a single stranded DNA, and disarmed retroviruses can be used to transform the animal cell. Here in this diagram you can see that retroviruses containing RNA as genetic material, and an enzyme is there, that is reverse transcriptase. This enzyme, the nucleocapsid part, will enter into the host cell, into the animal cell, and will get inserted after making DNA from the RNA. It will get inserted into the host genome, and then it will replicate, form the viral DNA, form its own copies, and then the capsid of the protein part is also formed. It will lyse the host cell and will spread to the other cells. Let's recapitulate what we have learned today. We have learnt about the cloning vectors. The vectors or cloning vectors, also known as carrier DNA or the vacuolar DNA, which are used to insert the gene of interest into the host cell. And the different type of cloning vectors are plasmids, bacteriophages, and cosmids. Then we have done the features of cloning vector, like cloning vectors must have the origin of replication, due to which they are able to replicate and also help the gene of interest to replicate, to make its own copies. Then it must have a selectable marker site, which may be the antibiotic resistant gene site. Why it should be there? Because it helps in selection of the transformant from the non-transformant. The other is, next we have done types of vector. For animal cell we will use retroviruses. For plant cell we will use TI plasmids, which are obtained from the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. And for transforming the bacterial cell we will use PBR322. There are many more vectors like this, like bacteriophages can be used, PBR322 can be used. There is PUC19, PUC19 vector is also there. Then mode of action, that how these vectors help in recombinant DNA technology. Their mode of action is, they will, if we use the PBR322, it will take up the gene of interest and deliver it to the host cell. If that host cell is bacteria, as you know that bacteria multiply within 20 minutes, as it multiply, the plasmids will also, recombinant DNA will also multiply, and number of copies of the recombinant DNA will be formed. Then if we use TI plasmid, the tDNA region is used so that it will no longer remain virulent to the plant cell. It will deliver the gene of interest to the plant cell and enhance the quality of the plants. And similarly, we can use disarmed pathogen vectors for modifying the animal cells also. That's all for today, students. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.